my friends. Welcome to the metal shop. Sorry, I know I've been away for a while. I just haven't been doing any projects really. No other excuse than that. Life gets in the way. So, the car is in the air for a future project, not what we're discussing today, and that is that I bought coilovers. When I put the new knockoffs on, I increased the tire size in the back to 295s. I would have preferred to use 275s, but really the only thing available in 275 and 15 inch is drag radial. So I went with the BF Goodrich TA or Trans Am tires. They rub too much. The previous tires rubbed a little bit when you hit a bump. These rub much more than that. So I'm either gonna do, something with some stiffer rear springs in the back from the donor that I have. I have some other rear springs right here and what you have to do is you have to open up that, they tell you to cut off that top flat part of the spring there. That's what you do when you install the donor suspension, rear suspension. You cut this one off, but you can heat this and just open it up, and that will give you a little bit more adjustability. So I may just do that, but I did buy the coilovers. So I lifted the car up, and honestly, I wanted to test the wheel on the passenger side there. I don't know if you remember, if you recall, if you guys are my faithful viewers, remember I had a real hard time getting that one off. And so my dad, of course, being a dad, suggested to me, he's like, you got to take it on and off a couple times just to make sure that you can. He's like, you can't leave it like that, not knowing. And he's right. And even though I put, never sees on everything, listen to your father. He was right. Anyway, I took the knockoff off and the wheel came loose, no problem. So I think what happened, if I was to hazard a guess, is that one of the pins, one of the wheel studs might have been off kilter just a little bit. And by driving the wheel on and then tightening it as I went, I probably straightened out that one misaligned pin just enough. Anyway, so coilovers, I did buy factory 5 coilovers. I wanted the vintage Motorsports coilovers, but they're no longer available. One little tip that I have is when you're buying parts directly from factory 5, plan in advance because they're always out of stock. So that way what you can do is you can check stock. They have a thing where they can email you when stuff is back in stock, order it, and have it for when you're ready to do the project. That's what I did. And anyway, so I have the factory 5 coilovers, which I may use. That's still up in the air. But anyway, what we're working on today is the dash. I have a full set of Smith's gauges that I want to install here in the Cobra. These donor gauges, they ain't it. This dash will come apart pretty easily. We're going to remove the steering wheel. I built this support here, if you remember. A couple of bolts here. This one has 3 screws. And this is really just friction fit here. This is loose. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. This is just bent and friction fit there. So I'm going to install, I need to remake the entire dash. And I have a couple of options. This doesn't even have proper lights for the gauges. Previous owner installed some kind of weird backlight just so you could see a little bit at night, but this is really, it's not well done. So I have a feeling that this is opening a huge can of worms here. I'm going to remove the dash, see what we've got here. I bought all electronic Smith's gauges so that they'll use the same sending units in theory as the stock Fox Body Mustang gauges. Hopefully that will work. I mean, the heat doesn't work. The speedometer, it works, but it's wrong and it bounces like crazy. So yeah, it's not great. But I have a couple of options. Again, so when I told you before where I bought the coilovers well in advance, I wanted the factory 5 brace, dashboard brace. Couldn't get it. It finally became available. I bought one. I had already made and installed this one. So now I have a new one in the box. I also bought a factory 5 dashboard with no blank, with no holes in it. This is their setup, which I don't care for. I'd prefer the SC setup to this one. You can't get any other pattern other than you can get this pattern or you can get a blank. So I have a blank, new in the box. Again, I bought it when it was available. I've got the thing new in a box in case I have to do that. But what I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can use is this over here. Now this is an original reproduction of an SC dash, and I did use this when I was doing the Street Beasts Cobra as a template for the layout. But this is a really nice piece that came from, it's the adjacent company to the Finish Line Cobra. I can't think of the name of its Cobra Restores, but anyway, they sell lots of, parts, perfect replica parts, OEM style parts for Cobras. So I bought this, and it's a nice piece. It has the flange bent into it, and it should, fingers crossed again, this should fit. And it has the layout that I want. One concern is, I know from the Factory 5 Mark I, 2, and 3, and 4, they moved the steering wheel location, or the steering shaft location, a little bit. So I guess we'll have to see. So what we're going to do is take off the steering wheel and remove the dash, and I will see you once that is accomplished. Wish me luck. All right, quickly, one more pro tip that I have for you. I bought my Smith's gauges from Merlin Motorsport in the UK. Now, you can buy them from, I can't think of the name of the company right off the top of my head, the US importer for them, but you're going to pay a lot more, like a lot more. I want to say this full set of gauges cost me in the neighborhood of between $700 and $800. Don't quote me on that. I want to say high $700, and I got new blue lights, blue, green, red lights. I got some switches, and it was still under $800. The basic gauge package for the 7 or 8 gauges from Nisonger, that's what is Nisonger out in New York, it's like $1,500. So anyway, you can see all the, you got to pay some weird duties and import tax and some weird stuff. I don't like UPS or FedEx hit me up after I had received it and I had to pay some kind of $12 fee, something else, whatever. But get it straight from the UK, save yourself a pile of money. And these are Smith's gauges made in the UK, and that is, what is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a sending unit for something. Because I think I'm going to do a fuel pressure gauge, something, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I think that's what I think. I got electronic fuel pressure gauge. But see, there's the reverse rotation speedometer. And it comes with a little thing that resets your trip odometer. And these are the same ones that you're getting from and paying twice as much for here in the United States. I will say this, you're not going to get the service after the sale, but Merlin Motorsport, there's your pro tip. Buy your gauges, Smith's gauges, directly from the UK, like I did. All right, so got the dash out. And for me, it really wasn't that big a deal. One screw on either side, one in the middle. And of course, I had 2 bolts on my brace. So I did all those. And the only thing that was really holding it in place was the speedometer cable. And you just give that a little, it's just a Ford thing, you just press on the tab, pull it, that comes right off. And so I was pleasantly surprised to find a very neat, orderly wiring job done back here. A lot of blue wire, which is unfortunate. So I'll be doing a lot of labeling as I take this stuff apart here. But overall, I was pretty pleasantly surprised at what I had found back here behind the dash. So one other performance note, I did have to use a steering wheel puller to get the steering wheel off. I was getting ready to unbolt the 6 bolts, and then I realized the boss that holds the steering wheel bolts to the column is bigger than the opening. That had to come off. I'm like, oh, I need to use a puller. So you're going to need a couple of really long 1/4-inch bolts to use a traditional steering wheel puller that does not come with those bolts. Comes with much larger bolts. So my car has a heater, as you can see over there. The heater wasn't working. Trying to see what he did for lights, because he put some, oh, there they are. I think there they are. Yeah, there are the lights. The previous owner put some kind of funky lights. You see them wired there to the top of the speedometer there and the top of the tack. Sorry about the lighting here. So that's what he did, for just to give it a little bit of lighting, and he wired them to cigarette lighter plug over there that you can see. So it's pretty, it's good starting point. Good to work from. I mean, there's just miles and miles of the Ford wiring harness here. I'm not going to mess around with it. Hopefully, fingers crossed again, that most of these wires will line up with the electronic gauges that I bought, and I won't have many issues from there. Got a clock over there. Okay, weird. Just looks like a single power wire to the clock. Anyway, I've got a little bit of work ahead of me here, going through this thing again. Labeling everything and just pulling the dash off completely and seeing where we're going to go from here. Whether I'm going to be able to use my really nice OEM reproduction Cobra dash, the SC layout. I'm using the SC layout, or if I'm going to have to make a new Factory 5 dash with the SC layout and go from there. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this video. A little bit short, long-winded as usual for me, but yeah, we're going to, like I said, we're just going to label. We're going to take this thing off, and can rejoin me when we have this roof in the car. Maybe I won't close it out. Maybe I will wait until I've got the wires labeled and have this thing setting on the workbench. All right, so stand by. All right, well, my friends, it's been an embarrassingly long amount of time since I took the dash off here a little bit, and honestly, it's been that many months. Yeah. Spring out here in the metal shop. I just no motivation, didn't really want to do it. So I did today get everything labeled. All the wires got labeled. Now I can't decide, since good weather's here, whether or not I should just put this dash back together, build the other dash out of the car, and I have decided that I'm going to use the Factory 5 blank dash. I'm going to cut it out for the SC gauge pattern. Guy, JR Motorsports 88, something like that. He's doing the same project as I am, and he confirmed that the reproduction SC dash does not fit without some significant modifications. So I'm just going to take it easy on myself. I'm going to use the Factory 5 dash. I'm going to use the original CSX dash as a template, just like I did with the Street Beasts Cobra, to cut out the pattern for the Smith's gauges. So what I'm thinking is it'd be better, I'll cut the holes in the dash, I'll cover it with leather. I picked up some fake pleather vinyl, cover the dash, get the thing built outside of the car, and then do the changeover. But this stuff all still works. Unfortunately, we got dead battery. I just found it was a tough winter. It was cold. So I'm thinking I should just button this back up and take the thing, drive the thing while the weather's nice. I still haven't done coilovers yet. Not sure I'm going to. It may just be easier at this point to modify those springs ever so slightly. I got a couple more projects here in the works. I got the Breeze Automotive hood hinge kit. Sorry, these are the hood hinges. And the hidden trunk hinge kit here. And there's the prop rod. I had all this stuff powder coated. There's the bracket for the they call it traditional. These are traditional hood hinges and hidden trunk hinges. That's just the plate that mounts to the hood, the underside of the hood. And what you can bond it, but what they recommend doing is actually drilling a series of holes and bolting this through to your hood, like so. Let's go over here to the hood. You know, remember the original hood's made out of aluminum, a couple pieces of aluminum. The original Cobras had a bunch of rivets here, kind of in a U-shaped pattern. So they recommend that you can do that with just with bolts, with button head bolts, you know, and lock nuts. That will look pretty cool. I've always wanted to do that anyway. I'm gonna leave my hood pins in place for the, you know, for the time being. Maybe when I get this thing painted and body worked, I will close those up. That may facilitate getting a completely new hood. These little things are gonna go away. They're gonna leave some ugly holes. Such is life, again, when we do body work. And this, you see, this is what you get. These crappy hinges here, it rubs right here, versus the hidden hinge kit brings the trunk away from the body. It's another thing that bears mentioning. The hood. With the Factory 5 hinge, the hood actually dives down into here when you open. With the Breeze hinge, it lifts up and it's out like here. Just kind of cool. We'll have to lose these brackets. Luckily mine are just bolt-in. So yeah, I'm gonna close out this video. Everything's labeled there and we got decisions to make. But with today's actually the first day that pulled out the shorts and the flip-flops. Some people call those things thongs because of I guess because of the way it goes into your toes like that. Okay, flip-flops. Anyway, first day for that, and that's kind of, you know, what prompted me to get going on this project. So yeah, I'm really leaning towards just buttoning this up so I can drive this thing and enjoy it this summer. As always, my friends, I truly appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, helps the algorithm. Hit me up in the comments. Still reply to all my comments. If you like the content, please subscribe. Tons of other great automotive, guitar-related content on my channel. Really appreciate it. Share the videos with your friends. Yeah, I still reply to all my comments. All right, my friends. Cobra. Take care.